Alright, and so the second part of this, that it's all part of the same thing, we're going to talk about the salvia suicide. The reason why salvia divinorum is illegal in a few states now. Because a kid did some of it, had a hallucination, so they say, and then killed himself because he couldn't deal with this world anymore. Now, for me personally, this strikes a little bit because kind of ties in with my own personal spiritual beliefs, that what the kid experienced during this hallucination is the truth. The fact of that this world really is full of a bunch of lies and horrible shit, and it's not the world that we're told it is. That's just the fact. But the fact of the matter is, after the boy had this experience, then he felt like he could no longer cope and killed himself. Left a note, explained to his parents that he did salvia, saw something, and that he could no longer continue in this world. Okay, that's horrible, it's tragic, but again, this is the parents' fault. Okay, if this boy, and I've seen the parents on the news, I've heard the things they had to say, and they're full of shit, okay? They want to, everybody always wants to make it out like their child is so perfect until this one thing happens that is so detrimental, and then their child kills himself, and then it's got to be something else's fault, when again, it's the fault of the parents. And I've seen the type of parents. I know the type of parents they are. I'm pretty good at reading people by looking at them, listening to what they say. That'll tell you a lot about a person. Just observe them and listen to them. And they'll give themselves away usually as to who they really are, okay? And this is just another case where if this boy had had somebody to talk to, somebody to go and talk out these feelings, this revelation, this epiphany, whatever it was that he had, if he had had his parents to talk to about this, instead of, he could have said, the scenario would have went down like this. He would have went and said, Mom, Dad, I did this herb called, and not a drug, it's an herb, called salvia divinorum. And I had this experience, and this is what I saw. And his parents would have been, oh, you used drugs. Blah, 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 here's your punishment, here's all the blame, here's all kinds of negativity coming at you instead of talking to him. If he could have had his parents to go to have open dialogue and a conversation about what he experienced, I can almost guarantee you that things would have turned out differently in the end. And this is the problem, people, and somebody looking for somebody to blame. And then this stuff happens every day. And the media only picks up on certain things because here they are pushing for regulation of the internet to take away free speech. That's a sad, tragic thing. The myspace suicide, both tragic incidences, but we need to put the blame where it really lies, on the parents of these children who did not raise their children in an environment where they felt like they had a connection and that they could go and talk to their parents, because young people need somebody to talk to. And when you start feeling alone, and they don't need their friends to talk to, they need someone else who has been around a while, who has some more insight into life, because their friends don't know shit, okay? And that's a very sad thing, that's usually the only place that young people have to turn to is their friends, because their parents are so biased against everything. Because at some point, parents seem to forget what it was like when they were kids. So, people, we need to put the blame where it belongs. We need to put the blame for this kind of stuff on the parents. Don't put these parents in the media and let them boo-hoo about what happened and push the blame off onto somebody else, when if they had been there for their children, if they had had open dialogue, if they had had an environment where the children felt like they could freely speak and talk about the things they needed to talk about without being judged or blamed or having any number of negative things said to them, just negativity pushed upon them, then things would be different. And unfortunately, most people, as I stated, do not raise their children. That is the key, to raise your children. And raising your children means you raise your children up to be people. It doesn't mean that you control them, you tell them what to do, you teach them everything, you do everything for them. Most people have no idea what being a parent really is. And being a parent is just loving your child. That's all you have to do, is love them and take care of them and provide them with an environment where they can be okay, where they can grow into the people that they're going to have to be later on in life. So just stop pushing the blame onto other people and other things, and put the blame where it lies, with the parents who did not provide an environment for these children to deal with their shit. Because children kill themselves every day for the same reasons. and the media only picks up on certain things. But if you were to look around, when I was in middle school, there was a kid who was on the basketball team, the middle school I went to. He was, I guess you'd say, a popular kid from rich neighborhood. He came from a much better neighborhood than I did. And that's the kid who killed himself in our middle school, shot himself in the middle of the night, like 3 in the morning. Nobody understood why. But I kind of do understand why, because the environment that he lived in, as nice as a life as it would have seemed like he should have had, he felt alone. And if your child feels alone and they have no way to deal with that, then odds are they're probably going to take the option of suicide. And that's just the facts. I mean, give your children some love, give them environment, talk to your kids, have a dialogue with them, make them feel like people, not like things. Man, I hope somebody out there's listening.